Hey, what's up and welcome back. We got the full English translation of the Dragon Ball Super Manga chapter 54. Now, if you haven't seen my pre-translation review, you can check that out. It's on the channel. And of course, subscribe to the channel as they cover the Dragon Ball Super Manga every single month. Now, of course, as I said in the other review, we have some really awesome Gohan stuff in here. Like, Gohan fans are going to be super happy, but then they're probably going to be pretty disappointed, as I received one comment on my other review. Gohan is getting the Buu Saga treatment, and that is pretty accurate, and we'll get into why that is in a minute. Now, this chapter is all about Gohan, the Earth, and of course setting up for a probable final confrontation with Moro and his army. So that is kind of what this chapter serves as, and of course to have some really awesome action. Like, the fight between 7-3 and Gohan is really awesome. I think it's really well choreographed. I like the moves that they do, the shot compositions. And of course, 7-3, it almost seems like 7-3 uses Piccolo's abilities more effectively than Piccolo himself. So, and that might be attributed to his unlimited stamina as well. So he uses the Hell Zone grenade against Gohan in an awesome fashion. Now, a part here with Piccolo and Jaco kind of was kind of dumb to me a little bit. So, you know, he gets the Hell Zone grenade on him. Piccolo yells out, like, because he's concerned about Gohan, but it's like, Piccolo, like, is Toyotaro trying to, like, do they not want Piccolo to be a smart character anymore? Obviously, something like that isn't gonna get the better of Gohan. Like, Gohan knows Piccolo's moves, but then Jaco points out that Gohan has gotten behind 7-3, Jaco of all people, and he's like, there, and Piccolo's like, who, what? So, however, we should remember, if I'm not mistaken, that Jaco has like some sort of super special eyesight. So that kind of makes sense that he saw that, but Piccolo should have known better too. So Piccolo, we have this really cool moment between Piccolo and Gohan, and it looks like my translations for this was pretty accurate, with Gohan saying, I know your move's better than anyone, Piccolo, so, you know, it's not that hard to fight this guy. And then Piccolo funnily saying that, hey, I've got mixed feelings about you beating a copy of me so easily. And it's like, well, you know, I mean, come on, Piccolo. You know as well as anybody else that Gohan is way stronger than you. And so, since Toyotaro was tired of drawing the shirt and pants suit that Gohan has, he just went with this two-piece gi that's just all black and white. Way easier to draw, right? So 7-3, like an awesome villain, uses giant mode. Now, it's been a long time since we've seen giant mode. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know if we've seen Piccolo do giant mode since the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai. But I think actually 7-3 uses it more effectively here because he actually combines it with his stretchy arms. So that was really, really, really awesome and really ingenious to combine those two moves. Now, of course, he can't really lay a finger on Gohan, and Gohan is he's just too much. He's just too much for him. So Mini Predator is like, hey, you know, we should have grabbed this guy's neck instead, which is actual confirmation that 7-3, when he grabs your neck and copies you, he copies your overall power and not just your abilities. So, if he had grabbed Gohan, he would have had the same power and the same techniques as Gohan. So yeah, they'd all be in big trouble. The only person that I can think of that might stand somewhat of a chance would be 17. But I don't know, good luck getting him away from his Minotaur. So, like a Chad Han, Gohan just, this shot right here with the hand, like, I love Toyotaro's hands. I don't know what it is, but the hand chasing Gohan and trying to grab his neck, and Gohan like getting ready this Kamehameha to blast it right in his freaking face, and his copy ability basically wears off right then and there, and Jaco's like, oh, you know, you just fired off still, Gohan, freaking screw this guy. And he does. And then we get to the Buu Saga treatments of Gohan. So in the Buu Saga, when Gohan had his potential unlocked by the Elder Kai, was laying the beatdown on Super Buu. He was Chad Han back then, with the bang and everything, as people like to call him. I don't usually call him Chad Han, but I think it's kind of funny sometimes. So he was laying the beat down, but then he was kind of being cocky and overconfident and let Super Buu absorb him. So everything that Gohan had been built up to do, everything just kind of dissolved. Here, he's fighting 7-3, and he's getting like a major beatdown. The action is awesome. Everything he's doing is awesome. But then 7-3 kind of pulls this ability out of his butt, where apparently he can stock up to 3 persons in his orbs, and he had copied Moro's abilities. Now, this is just overpower right here. I mean, obviously, he has a stipulation where he has to grab your neck first. So that might be difficult to do unless you're Piccolo. So Moro had really good strategy on the villain's part, by the way. Like, I don't really like it. I think it's kind of a butt pull, but at the same time, it adds another level of antagonism, or another force for our heroes to try to push past and get the better of, with essentially 2 Moros. They now have 2 Moros, Android 73 and Moro himself. So he eats Gohan's Ki Blast. Apparently Piccolo can see that he eats Gohan's Ki Blast, but he can't see that Gohan is just fine from the Hellzone grenade. So, you know, it's really cool, but I'm pretty mixed about it. Like, I would have loved for these guys to win and for the bad guys to have to call in reinforcements or something like that. But it's obviously gonna work toward building up toward a final confrontation between these guys. So our heroes try to jump in, and 7-3 obviously uses his moral powers to prevent that. And Mini Predator uses his cell phone to call Moro and say, hey, you know, Earth is a really strong place, and we had to use your copy ability already. So he is absorbing just the 4 heroes, because he doesn't want to absorb the planet, because that's reserved for Moro. Only Moro gets the delicacy, which is the planet. You know, we get to some dialogue from Moro, and he's like, okay, so does this have a time limit as well? And Sagambo confirms that 7-3's stock copying also has a time limit, and I'm thinking, what's the point in this time limit if he can just call upon any 3 of these abilities that he's copied? If the 30 minutes runs out, couldn't he just do it again, like immediately? Like, what is the limitations here? If there's no limits, then this ability is just way too overpowered, with the only limitation being that he has to grab your neck, you know? So I don't know how I feel about this yet. I gotta think about it a little bit more, I guess. So we have some interesting dialogue from Moro here, actually kind of possibly helping to deepen his character, or his backstory at least. He mentions that he knows of Earth, and he says 10 million years ago it was a planet of mere monkeys. So what kind of beings know things about a quote-unquote backwater planet like Earth? Maybe a god of destruction? So this is kind of possibly foreshadowing Moro as a possible past god of destruction, or maybe even a candidate of some sort, or maybe just knows every planet that's in the universe, I guess. So we get back to the Earthlings, and they're just getting the crap beaten out of them by Panda and Predator. And Piccolo, another callback to a past thing in Dragon Ball Z, says, hey, don't get too cocky. If we die, Goku and Vegeta will come and just defeat you guys, because they're way better than us. And hey, great job, Piccolo, because Moro is still listening in, and then formulates a plan. He's like, oh, Goku and Vegeta, I remember getting their power before, and that was really nice. So I want to do that again, like a stupid, overconfident villain. Now, I think this is kind of a dumb plan on Moro's part. him being just so overconfident. And they even say that they're training, so Moro doesn't even care that they're training. Now, I think it was pretty dumb that he left them alive twice, and now he's going the next level and saying, okay, well, I'll give them time to get even stronger or even think of strategies past my abilities. But maybe he thinks that's impossible, even though, you know, the Grand Supreme Kai thought of an ability to screw him over. So I don't know what makes him think that he should be cocky at a time like this. Now, of course, the callback here that I'm referring to is when Piccolo mentioned that they have the Dragon Balls to wish Goku back to life after they defeated Raditz, and of course his scouter was transmitting everything that was going on. So that's an interesting callback there. Apparently, when Predator calls Moro, he has to use a cell phone, but Moro is just listening in with this like portable radio thing anyway, so I don't really see what the point of the cell phone is. You know? So Moro formulates a plan. He's like, okay, you guys retreat for now, and we'll give them some time to train because I really want to feast on Goku and Vegeta. So that makes sense. It's a little bit dumb from, you know, strategy standpoint. Like, he's just overconfident. It's just typical villain overconfidence, and it's kind of dumb. I kind of think that they should have just called in reinforcements for Moro's army, and we could have had just a really awesome like war between the Earthlings and Moro's army. Get Yamcha and Tien in here, but instead it kind of, you know, Gohan gets a moment and then he just can't win. Like, this is Dragon Ball, I guess. Nobody can ever win. Like, Piccolo can't beat 7-3, and then Gohan can't beat 7-3. Man. I don't know. What do you guys think? Drop your thought waves down in the comments below on that. So that's pretty much the end of it. You know, they plan on coming back in 7 cycles, which is 20 days. But then 8 cycles is 2 months, which is about 60 days. So how is one more cycle 40 more days? That's rather confusing math-wise. So, and then we get to, we move on with the story to Goku and Maris training. So Maris gets word that they have 2 months, which is 6 months in the time chamber, which is a really lot of time. So I'm kind of glad that they're doing some sort of time skip here, because then it will allow enough time for Goku to do his training and come out new and improved, and especially Vegeta on Yardrat learning his stuff so that he can come back new and improved. Because if they just came back after like a couple weeks or a couple days or something with new techniques and new moves, that would be pretty dumb. So I actually am kind of liking this time skip thing, because now it'll even allow the Earthlings to kind of gather together and train, possibly even in the hyperbolic time chamber, to prepare. So hopefully something like that happens. Hopefully we actually see some training sequences with these guys. But now we get the coup de grace of the chapter, which is Whis visiting the Daishinkan. Now, everything that I had translated in this is almost perfect, which I'm pretty happy about, except, so they do their formalities, and Whis asks about the angel laws. Now, of course, they do mention that the Daishinkan is like, hey, you're not asking for help, are you? For me to save it, are you? And Whis is like, no, angels are neutral. We can't be good or evil. And he's like, okay, just making sure. And then Whis is like, I want to confirm something about the angel laws. And then the Grand Priest is like, oh, you must be talking about Maris. So, oh man, big cliffhanger. So there's not only this, but two foreshadowings of Maris being an angel, or at least connected to the angels in some way, shape, or form. Because Goku eats and he says, oh, I just realized you haven't eaten anything. And then Maris is like, I can eat or not eat. It's all the same to me. And then Goku's like, oh, we said the same thing. And of course, we all know how much Whis likes Earth food. So we left off at a really cool cliffhanger there. I really, really enjoyed this chapter. I thought it overall was really well done. I don't really like the 7-3 using Moro's ability. I feel like that just makes him too powerful, but that might make it pay off even more in the future. So we'll just have to see where this goes. I really would have loved the fight to go on a little bit longer for the Earthlings and get, you know, the other characters involved, get some more galactic prisoners over there to fight them, and just have a good on war, just similar to when in Resurrection F, where the Frieza soldiers came in. But of course, Moro's prisoners are a lot more powerful, so the fight would be a lot cooler and higher stakes and all that. So, but overall, I really enjoyed it. I think this arc is still really solid, despite a few of the issues here and there. But obviously, what do you guys think? I really like reading your comments and appreciate them. So drop your thought waves down in the comments and take it easy.